because there's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire John Jones without even fighting him.
John Jones called us last night and retired. John Jones is officially...
It's official. John Jones has retired from the UFC. Not with a bang inside the octagon, but with silence. And the looming shadow of the one man he never fought, Tom Aspinall. And let's be real, there was never a world where John was going to step into the cage with him. Not a chance. John Jones retires, and Tom Aspinall becomes the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Rejoice, because the division is finally free now. This wasn't some shocking plot twist. John's been dropping hints about retirement for years, especially once Tom Aspinall burst onto the scene. But now, it's written in stone. The UFC legend released an official statement saying, "Today, I'm officially announcing my retirement." From the UFC, this decision comes after a lot of reflection. He goes on to thank his family, the UFC, the fans, and everyone who supported him. He talks about pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the sport. And to be fair, he did. The youngest champion in UFC history. A defensive genius. One of the most innovative fighters we've ever seen. From spinning elbows to oblique kicks, Jones helped evolve the game. But you can't talk about John Jones without bringing up the rest, the steroids, the DUIs, the hitandrongs, the constant drama. And now, the way he ends it all, refusing to fight Tom Aspinall. Look, no one is denying that John Jones is one of the greatest fighters ever. He's a technician. He has incredible fight IQ. And he's beaten legends like Daniel Cormier, Alexander Gustafsson, Glover, Teixeira, and more. But legacy is about more than just wins. It's also about the ones you don't take and walking away. To avoid Tom Aspinall, that's going to stick with fans forever. The man openly said Tom was just another guy. But make no mistake, beating Aspinall would have been one of the most impressive wins of his entire career, possibly second only to beating Cormier. But instead, Jones chose Stipe Miocic, who hadn't fought in years. A fight that never even happened. And in the meantime, Tom just waited. The interim champ, ready and willing, but getting ghosted by the guy holding the belt. John Jones' title reign at heavyweight might go down as one of the weakest ever. He beat Cyril Gannon, excellent win, and dominant at that, but never defends the belt, never unifies, never fights the most dangerous guy in the division. The UFC actually had an interim champ defend his belt before the actual champion did. Let that sink in. Let's talk facts. John ducked Chael Sonnen back in 2012, refused to fight him on short notice. And the UFC literally cancelled the entire UFC 151 card because of it. Champions rarely say no to short notice fights. Islam Makhachev didn't. TJ Dillashaw didn't. But John did. That's one duck. The second, avoiding Tom Aspinall in 22-4. So if your last act as champion is to duck the next man up, what does that say about your legacy? Now, let's be clear. John's resume is stacked, but it's not without cracks. Many believed Gustafsson beat him in their first fight. Thiago Santos fought him to a split decision on one leg. Dominic Reyes arguably beat him. And when you add the multiple failed drug tests, clemifene, letrozole, Terranobolit gets harder and harder to call him the greatest. In my eyes, if you test positive for P's multiple times, you're disqualified from that conversation. Same reason I can't call Anderson Silva the GOAT either. As much as I love the guy, John's final act in the UFC was ducking a prime Tom Aspinall. Let's not sugarcoat it. And that only adds fuel to the argument that his run at heavyweight wasn't legit. A win over Cyril Gane, then silence. He never fought the best in the division. He avoided the most dangerous test of his career. But now, Tom Aspinall holds the throne. A man in his prime, hungry, active, dangerous. He's already finished 5 fighters in the top 10 with an average fight time of just over 2 minutes. The heavyweight division is his, and the question is who's next? There are a few options. Cyril Gane is the obvious one. Never fought Aspinall, and only ever lost to Ngannou and Jones. Volkov is also in the mix, but Tom already finished him once, so Gane gets the edge. Then you have the dark horses, Gelton, Almeida, Curtis Blades, and if he wins, Sergey Pavlovich. But let's not forget one name, Francis Ngannou. That's the fight. The one the UFC missed when Jones ran. And now, with Jones gone, the door opens again. Dana was asked about bringing back Francis, and he didn't say no. He just said he doesn't think Francis wants to come back. But if Ngannou says yes, do you think the UFC is going to walk away from the biggest heavyweight fight they could possibly make? Francis is the only guy who could challenge Aspinall in a meaningful way. He's the only one who matches up physically bigger, longer reach, one punch, knockout power, and now more boxing experience after facing Fury and Joshua. He's the one test John avoided. And now he could end up facing the man John ducked instead. Imagine the irony. The two guys, John, Jones, ran from end up fighting each other. And here's the crazy part, Francis has fought more recently than Tom. He boxed in October. Tom last fought in July. So any idea of ring rust doesn't apply here. It's a fair, even matchup, one of the best you could make in MMA right now. If Ngannou doesn't come back, there's still Alex Pereira. The size, the striking, the takedown, defense after what he did to Enclave. He's a real threat. 243 pounds of danger. And unlike Volkov or Gan, he's fresh. But I still think Tom takes him down and submits him. Still, it's a fight we all want to see. So, where does Jon Jones land in the history books? If you're okay with the steroid stuff, sure, he's the GOAT. Most title wins in UFC history. Incredible technique. Fought killers for over a decade. But if you're not okay with the drug test failures, the eye pokes, the controversial wins, and the cherry-picked matchups, sees just one of the greats. Not the great dot. At the end of the day, Jon Jones is the most talented fighter we've ever seen, but also one of the most flawed, both inside the cage and outside of it. And now that chapter is closed. So what do you guys think? Is Jon Jones really retired for good? Is Tom Aspinall the future of the heavyweight division? And who should he fight next? Pereira, Ngannou? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.